Katie Couric gets a great deal on Pawn Stars item, as Rick Harrison knew he had to keep her happy. In the world of celebrity and entertainment, unexpected intersections often lead to intriguing stories. One such tale unfolded when renowned journalist and television personality Katie Couric found herself at the center of a unique transaction involving one of America's most recognizable pawn shops, the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas, home to the hit reality show Pawn Stars. The story centers around a rare historical item that Couric sought to acquire, and how Rick Harrison, the savvy co-owner of the shop, made sure she left with more than just an artifact. She left with satisfaction. It was a typical day in Las Vegas, bright sun overhead, tourists bustling through downtown, and inside the gold and silver pawn shop, business was moving briskly. But this particular day would be anything but ordinary. Word had spread quickly that Katie Couric, former anchor of the Today Show, longtime co-host of, and a respected figure in American journalism, had arrived at the shop for a special visit. Couric, known for her intelligence, charm, and curiosity, wasn't there for just a tour or a cameo on the show. She had come with a purpose to purchase a specific item from the shop's extensive collection of vintage memorabilia. The item in question: a rare 19th century pocket watch once owned by a Union Army officer during the Civil War. According to the shop's records, it was not only a functional timepiece, but also a piece of American history, engraved with the officer's name and date of enlistment. For Couric, who has long expressed an appreciation for historical artifacts and storytelling, the watch represented more than just a collector's item. It symbolized resilience, sacrifice, and the human stories behind major historical events. She had learned about the watch through a mutual connection and was eager to see it in person. Rick Harrison, ever the seasoned negotiator and businessman, greeted Couric warmly upon her arrival. Known for his sharp instincts and ability to read people, he quickly realized that this wasn't just another customer walk-in. This was a chance to build a relationship with someone whose influence reached millions across the country. Harrison understood the value of the watch both monetarily and historically. While he could have easily held firm on price, he saw an opportunity to go beyond the standard transaction. He wanted to make sure that Couric walked away not only with the watch, but also with a positive experience that reflected the spirit of the shop and its reputation. As they discussed the item, Harrison shared the backstory of the pocket watch, detailing its provenance and how it had come into the shop's possession. He explained that the previous owner had brought it in during a difficult financial period, hoping to get a fair offer. Now, years later, it had become a prized piece in their inventory. Couric listened intently, clearly captivated by the history behind the object. She asked thoughtful questions, showing genuine interest in the narrative behind the item. For Harrison, this was more than just a sale. It was a moment to connect over shared values of history, storytelling, and integrity. The conversation eventually turned to price. Harrison, always the shrewd dealer, initially quoted a figure slightly above what he expected to settle for. But Couric, well-versed in negotiation from her years in media and public life, countered with a lower number. What followed was a respectful back and forth, filled with humor and mutual respect. Harrison, recognizing Couric's sincerity and the potential goodwill that could come from a generous gesture, decided to offer her a deal that was significantly below market value. He explained that while the watch was worth more, he admired her work and appreciated her interest in preserving history. "You've told so many important stories," he said. "This one deserves to be in good hands." Couric was visibly touched. She accepted the offer enthusiastically, expressing her gratitude and admiration for Harrison's approach to business. Katie Couric gets a great deal on Pawn Stars item, As Rick Harrison knew he had to keep her happy refreshing to see someone prioritize passion over profit, she remarked. The transaction itself was simple. The watch exchanged hands, payment was made, and paperwork was signed. But the impact of the interaction extended far beyond the walls of the pawn shop. Word of the encounter spread quickly among fans of Pawn Stars and followers of Couric's career. Social media buzzed with comments praising Harrison's generosity and Couric's appreciation for history. Some even speculated that the moment might inspire a future episode of Pawn Stars focused on celebrity collectors and rare historical items. More importantly, the event highlighted a broader theme: the idea that meaningful connections can be made in the most unexpected places. A pawn shop, often associated with quick cash and fast deals, became the setting for a story about respect, generosity, and shared appreciation for the past. While the exchange appeared spontaneous, those close to Harrison say that he carefully considered his decision. According to insiders, he recognized the long-term value of making a high-profile customer happy. Not only did it reflect positively on the shop and the show, but it also opened the door for potential collaborations or future publicity. Additionally, Harrison is known for occasionally making exceptions for customers who demonstrate genuine passion for the items they seek. He has a deep respect for history and often speaks about the importance of preserving artifacts that tell the American story. In Couric, he saw someone who shared that sentiment. History in my hands. Grateful to Rick Harrison for sharing this incredible piece of the past. Her followers responded with enthusiasm, with many expressing admiration for both the item and the gesture. Some even encouraged Couric to write a feature piece or documentary about the watch and its original owner, something she hinted at considering. Months later, the watch now sits proudly displayed in Couric's home office, a daily reminder of the intersection between history and humanity. Every time she glances at it, she's reminded not only of the Civil War officer who once carried it into battle, but also of the man in Las Vegas who helped preserve its legacy. This story serves as a testament to the power of personal connections in a world increasingly dominated by digital interactions. In an age where transactions are often impersonal, moments like these remind us of the value of face-to-face engagement, mutual respect, and the joy of discovering something meaningful together. Rick Harrison's willingness to go above and beyond for a customer like Katie Couric reflects the heart of what Pawn Stars has always been about: more than just buying and selling. It's about the stories behind the objects, the people who bring them in, and those who choose to take them home. And for Couric, the experience was a refreshing reminder that even in the midst of a busy life filled with deadlines and interviews, there's still room for discovery, wonder, and the occasional trip to a pawn shop in Las Vegas. Katie Couric's visit to the gold and silver pawn shop and her acquisition of the Civil War-era pocket watch is more than just a feel-good story. It's a reflection of how small gestures can leave lasting impressions. Rick Harrison's decision to offer her a great deal was not only a kind act, but also a strategic one, reinforcing the values of trust, history, and community that define Pawn Stars. In the end, everyone won. Couric gained a treasured piece of history. Harrison strengthened his reputation as a fair and thoughtful businessman. And viewers everywhere were reminded of the magic that happens when two worlds, journalism and pawnbrokering, collide in the most unexpected